Hello everyone, and welcome back to Speak English with Sophie. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Chris. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a fantastic episode lined up for you, all about ways to improve your English listening skills.
That's right, Chris. Whether you're a beginner or advanced learner, honing your listening skills is crucial. It can help you understand native speakers better, improve your pronunciation, and even boost your confidence in conversations.
Absolutely, Sophie. Before we dive into the main discussion, let's do a quick vocabulary preview. We'll highlight two key terms you'll hear us use today: active listening and context clues.
Yes, active listening refers to fully concentrating, understanding, responding, and then remembering what is being said. It's more than just hearing words, it's about engaging with the speaker.
And context clues are hints found within a sentence or paragraph that a reader or listener can use to understand the meanings of new or unfamiliar words.
Perfect. Now let's jump into our topic, ways to improve English listening skills.
So Sophie, what's the first strategy you'd recommend for improving listening skills?
I'd say a great starting point is listening to a variety of English audio materials. This could be anything from podcasts like ours, audiobooks, radio, to TV shows and movies. The diversity helps you get used to different accents, speeds of speech, and contexts.
I agree. Another important method is practicing active listening. This means really focusing on what you hear, without distractions, and thinking about the meaning behind the words. Taking notes can also be very helpful.
Yes, and don't forget to use repetition. Listening to the same audio multiple times can help you catch things you might have missed initially and reinforce your understanding.
That's a great point, Sophie. Also, interactive listening exercises are incredibly beneficial. These can be found in many language learning apps and websites, which often have quizzes or activities that test your comprehension.
Another effective method is to watch videos with subtitles. Start with subtitles in your native language if you need to. Then switch to English subtitles as you get more comfortable.
And as you mentioned earlier, using context clues is key. When you hear a word you don't know, pay attention to the surrounding words and sentences. They can often help you infer the meaning of the unfamiliar word.
That's a skill that improves with practice. Speaking of practice, conversational practice with native speakers or fellow learners is invaluable. Engaging in real-life conversations can significantly enhance your listening and speaking abilities.
Absolutely, and don't forget to immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Surround yourself with English content, read, listen, and even think in English. The more exposure you have, the more natural it will become.
Let's not overlook the role of patience and persistence. Improving listening skills takes time and continuous effort. It's important to be patient with yourself and stay motivated.
Great advice, Sophie. And now, let's talk about our own experiences with improving our English listening skills. Sophie, can you share some of your personal tips?
Sure, Chris. I remember when I first started learning English, I struggled with understanding different accents. What helped me was listening to a wide range of media, especially British and American TV shows. It was challenging at first, but over time, I got used to the variations in pronunciation and vocabulary. One specific memory I have is watching the show Friends. Initially, I had a hard time keeping up with the fast-paced dialogues and different accents, but I decided to watch each episode with English subtitles first, then without subtitles. I even rewatched episodes multiple times. Slowly but surely, I started to catch more words and phrases. The humor and relatable situations in the show also made it an enjoyable learning experience.
That's a great approach, Sophie. For me, I found that practicing with native speakers was extremely beneficial. I used language exchange programs where I could speak with native English speakers while helping them with my native language. It was a win-win situation and greatly improved my listening skills. One memorable experience was when I joined a local language exchange meetup group. I was paired with a native English speaker who wanted to learn my native language. We met weekly, and each session we'd spend half the time speaking in English and the other half in my native language. This real-life practice was invaluable. It pushed me to listen actively, think on my feet, and respond naturally. Over time, my comprehension improved significantly, and I gained more confidence in my listening abilities.
Those exchanges are fantastic. They provide real-world practice that's hard to replicate in a classroom setting. Another thing that helped me was listening to English music. Not only is it enjoyable, but it also exposes you to slang and colloquial expressions.
Music is definitely a fun way to learn. I remember getting hooked on the Beatles and trying to understand the lyrics of their songs. I would print out the lyrics and listen to each song multiple times, following along with the text. This not only helped me improve my listening skills but also expanded my vocabulary and understanding of idiomatic expressions.
That's a wonderful way to learn, Chris. I also found that watching English news channels helped me understand formal and professional speech. The clear enunciation of news anchors can be easier to follow, especially for beginners.
News channels are a great resource. I particularly enjoyed watching documentaries. They often cover a variety of topics, and the narrators speak clearly and at a measured pace, which makes it easier to follow along. Plus, you get to learn about interesting subjects while improving your listening skills.
That's true. And don't forget the power of audiobooks. They're a great resource because you can listen to them anywhere while commuting, exercising, or even doing household chores.
Yes, and many audiobooks come with the text, so you can read along as you listen. This dual input can reinforce your understanding and help with word recognition.
Exactly. And speaking of dual input, language learning apps often have interactive features that can boost your listening skills. Apps like Duolingo or Rosetta Stone have exercises that train your ear to recognize and understand spoken English.
Those apps are excellent tools. They make learning fun and engaging. Another tip I'd like to share is recording yourself speaking. This might sound odd, but listening to your own voice can help you identify areas where you need improvement.
That's a good point, Chris. It also helps you become more comfortable with your own accent and pronunciation. Plus, you can track your progress over time, which is always motivating.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned before, context clues are crucial. If you come across a word you don't understand, try to guess its meaning based on the words around it. This skill improves with practice and is invaluable in everyday conversations.
Yes, and sometimes even guessing the meaning correctly can boost your confidence. Another great practice is to keep a vocabulary journal. Whenever you learn a new word, write it down along with its meaning and an example sentence. Review this journal regularly to reinforce your learning.
That's an excellent habit, Sophie. And let's not forget about the power of subtitles. Watching English videos with English subtitles can help you connect spoken words with their written forms. Once you get comfortable, try turning off the subtitles to challenge yourself.
That's a great strategy. And remember, improving your listening skills takes time, so be patient with yourself. Celebrate small victories along the way and keep pushing forward.
Well said, Sophie. And now, as we wrap up our discussion, let's introduce 5 keywords from our conversation today.
First up is active listening. This means fully concentrating on what is being said, understanding, responding, and remembering it. For example, active listening helps you understand your friend's feelings better.
Next, we have context clues. These are hints found in the surrounding text or speech that help you understand unfamiliar words. For example, using context clues can help you figure out new vocabulary.
The third keyword is repetition. This means listening to the same material multiple times. For example, repetition is key to mastering pronunciation.
Our fourth keyword is immersion. This involves surrounding yourself with the language. For example, language immersion is one of the most effective ways to learn.
Lastly, we have persistence. This means continuing to practice despite difficulties. For example, persistence is crucial when learning a new language.
That's it for today's episode. Remember to practice pronouncing these 5 keywords, use them in your sentences, and keep engaging with English content.
Thanks for joining us today on Speak English with Sophie. Stay tuned for our next episode, and until then, happy learning!
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye! This is the end of today's episode, but remember, learning English doesn't stop here. There's so much more to explore, so make sure to check out our other episodes to keep your English journey going. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and stay updated with our latest lessons. Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Happy learning!